Hello everyone, myself Dr. Harshini, Associate Professor SJBIT. Earlier videos, in earlier videos I covered Module 1 and completely and Module 2 portion of it, and here in this video I'm going to continue the rest of it. As I said in previous videos, I covered strategic relevant components of company's external environment, industry analysis, factors driving industry change and its impact. So this is the last video of second module, that is video number 6, and in this I'll be covering Porter's dominant economic feature, competitive environment analysis, and Porter's 5-force model. Okay, so let me discuss about Porter's dominant economic feature. Well, identification of industry's dominant economic feature is very important for analyzing a company's industry and competitive environment. It also provides an overview of the overall landscape of industry. So basically it helps the organization to know the different types of strategic moves that industry members are likely to employ. So some of the important industry dominant economic features are given here. You can see on the slide: market size and growth rate, number of rivals, scope of competitive rivalry, buyers' need and requirements, production capacity, pace of technological change, vertical integration, product innovation, degree of product differentiation, economies of scale, learning and experience curve effects. Let me go in detail. Market size and growth rate. Market size refers to total number of firms operating in the industry. It's also important to know whether the industry is growing, static or declining. It depends upon position of industry in the business life cycle, that is early development, rapid growth, early maturity, stagnation and decline. Talking about the number of rivals, organization should also know whether the industry contains too many small rivals or is it dominated by a few large firms. Similarly, they should also know about the various development in the industry such as mergers and acquisitions, etc. Then talking about the scope of competitive rivalry. Scope of competitive rivalry is an important factor for the organizations. To know about the level of competition, industry members must know about nature of future competition. For example, if a company realizes that its future success depends upon diversification, product development and market expansion, then it must start planning from the very first day. Then talking about the buyer needs and requirements, industry members must take into consideration the need and taste of final buyers as well as the middlemen. So basically organizations have to do a lot of period research in order to know the major shifts in buyers' needs and risk requirements. They should also know about various factors affecting consumer behavior. Well, then the degree of product differentiation. Regarding that, product differentiation is another important factor for analyzing the overall industry situation. If all the products of industry are not fully differentiated, then it will increase competition among the members of industry. In such case, prices of products will be low and new entrants will find it difficult to compete with the existing firms. Now talking about product innovation. Well, product innovation can be used as a measure to know the dominant industry features. If the industry is characterized by rapid product innovation and short product life cycle, then the research and development is very important for the success of an organization. In such cases, members of the industry must come up with new products to compete effectively. Then talking about the pace of technological change. If the industry is characterized by rapid pace of technological change, then the art of the state technology is imperative for the success of organizations. For example, industry of mobile phones requires rapid change in the technology in order to meet the changing customer demand. Then talking about the vertical integration, it's important to know whether the competitors in the industry are partially or fully integrated. Similarly, the competitive advantages and disadvantages of fully, partially and non-integrated firms should be taken into consideration. Vertical industry integration can cause potential cost of production differences. Now regarding economies of scale, organization must also know the different economies of scale in purchasing, manufacturing and other activities. They should analyze whether the companies with high scale operations has any cost advantage or not. Any reduction in the cost of production leads to higher competitiveness, which ultimately results in higher profits. And Well, for regarding Porter's dominant economic feature, competitive analysis, environment analysis, far and away the most powerful and widely used tool for systematically diagnosing the principal competitive pressures in a market and assessing the strength and importance of each is the five force model of competition. The model holds that the state of competition in an industry is a composite of competitive pressures operating in five areas of overall market. The way one uses the five force model to determine the nature and strength of competitive pressures in a given industry or to build a picture of competition in three steps. That is, first step is identifying the specific competitive pressures associated with each of the five forces. Second step is evaluating how strong the pressures comprising each of the five forces are, that is whether it's fierce or if that the pressure is strong or moderate to normal or if it is weak. And the third step is determining whether the collective strength of the five competitive force is conducive to learning attractive profits. Then competitive environment analysis, usually competition analysis is done along with the industry analysis. Let me repeat, I'm discussing about competitive environmental analysis. Competition analysis is done along with industry analysis. This is so because competition and competitive force are a part and parcel of industry structure. As a part of strategy formulation, the firm must analyze and size up all the forces that shape competition in the industry. Most of the firms suffered from what was referred to as strategic myopia. It was Michael Porter who gave a new thrust to the ideas associated with the competition. So the four steps of competitive analysis are identifying the strategy, identifying the objectives, identifying the assumptions, and identifying the capabilities. Competitor's objective. In competitors analysis, there are two case factors to note in building knowledge of a competitor's objective. The first factor is to know the actual objectives of a competitor. This could range from building market share in a specific market or overall business, entering a new market, or even just maintaining profitability. They should also look at not only current competitors but also potential competitors. The second factor is to know if the competitor is actually achieving their stated. Looking at these two factors will provide a firm with an opinion on a competitor's potential actions to change in the sector. A part of the comprehensive competitor analysis piece, firms should identify their key competitors and to be able to define the objectives of each competitors and likelihood of achieving the objectives. Well, you can see on the slide the key components of competitor analysis, which talks about what drives the competitor on the left hand side, and the right you can see what the competitor is doing and is capable of doing, that is what he can do. So in that you have future goals and current strategies. In future goal, it talks about all levels of management and multiple directions, and in current strategy, how the business is currently competing. And competitors response profile, again you have four different factors here, that is strategy, objectives, assumptions, and resource and capabilities. Well, is the competitor satisfied with its current position? Second one, what likely moves or strategies shifts will be what will the competitor make? That talks about strategy. And where is a competitor vulnerable, whether he is vulnerable, whether he's been able to make adaptive changes to the situations, and what will provoke the greatest and most effective realization by the competitors. These are certain factors competitive response profile consists of. And there are assumptions and capabilities. Well, competitive assumptions is another key in competitor analysis. With an understanding of competitors' assumptions about overall market, that is trend in the market about products and consumers. For example, competitors could define their action based on what their assumptions are on the growth of the market. Well, Federal Express is a good example of highlight. Well, FedEx considered overnight delivery. They assumed that demand would reach high levels and it would change the mail and package delivery industry. FedEx turned out to be correct, and this changed the industry with other competitors following suit to offer the same service. So here in this example, FedEx made a strong assumption on the industry behavior and was able to establish a presence in overall delivery quickly. So that should be about the assumption part, which is one of the key component of a competitor analysis. And Talking about competitor strategy, a third aspect in competitor analysis is the understanding of competitor strategy. In most cases, the strategy will be defined and stated, particularly for public firms. In other cases, it may not be openly stated what competitor strategies are, but these can be understood by utilizing number of forces or sources available to firms, from analyzing a competitor's behavior in certain situations to discussing with industry experts to get their viewpoints. Now, talking about capabilities, we're done with assumptions about competitors' assumptions and competitor strategy. Now, coming to competitors' capabilities or competitors' resources and capabilities. Finally, competitor analysis should also include an understanding of a competitor's resources and capabilities, as these would give a firm an idea of how a competitor can achieve its strategy and objectives, and also give a firm a timeline for when it would expect competitors to pursue certain activities. For this, a large part of information can be gleaned from press articles and news. Example in order is in the increase in orders of Airbus A380, largest commercial aircraft in the world, by Dubai-based Emirates Airlines, from the current 55 to double the numbers. So here this indicates several thoughts. Emirates Airline has large funding capabilities, and Emirates Airlines will be expanding its international business and presence once these aircraft are received. So that's about the capabilities. And talking about strategic groups, set of business units or firms that pursue similar strategies with similar resources. Strategy type could be category of firms based on common strategic orientation and combination of structure, culture, processes consistent with that strategy. And the defenders, companies with a limited product line focus on improving efficiency of current operations. And regarding prospectors, companies with fairly broad product line focus on product innovation and market opportunities. Reactors, corporations that lack a consistent strategy, structure, culture, relationship. Then coming back to Porter's 5 force model, very important, and this is one such model which helps to analyze the industry. These 5 force factors consist of threats of new entrants, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, and degree of rivalry. Well, what is this 5 force analysis? Well, it is a technique for analyzing industries and competitors. Michael Porter, an American academic, devised 5 force to perform a full examination of an industry, which includes peer competition, threat of new competent, threat of substitutes, buyers bargaining power, and suppliers bargaining power. Now, talking about, let me take the first one, threat of new entrants. Well, threat of new entrants, number of new entrants, competitor strategy to enter the market, concentration of competitors, high fixed or storage costs, slow or lack of differentiation or low switching cost, capacity augmented in large increments, diversity of competitors, high strategy stakes, high exit barriers. So these are some of the characteristics of or the factors for threat of new entrants. Well, what are the barriers and the details about it? Let me discuss. Regarding investment cost, high cost will deter entry. High capital requirements might mean that only large business can compete. Now, talking about economies of scale available to existing firms, lower unit costs make it difficult for smaller newcomers to break into the market and compete effectively. Talking about regularity and legal restrictions, each restrictions can act as barriers to entry. Patents provide the patent holder with protection, at least in the short run. Regarding product differentiation, existing products with strong USP, brand increase customer loyalty, make it difficult for newcomers to gain market share. About access to suppliers and distribution channel, a lack of access will make it difficult for newcomers to enter the market. Retaliation by established products, example, the threat of price war will act to discourage new entrants, but note that competition law outlaws action will like predatory pricing. Threat of new entrants, Okay. uh, all right, the ability of new enterprise to enter the industry and heighten competition is the first competitive force that Porter emphasized. With a high barrier to entry for new competitors, benefit for long period of profitability and little competition. Competition especially reveals how difficult it is for company to make money and how successful it's been. As a result, success will be reflected in stock price. We're talking about the next one, bargaining power of suppliers. This power refers to ability of customers to compel vendors to provide them with higher quality products at lower price. The following situation have a lot of bargaining power. If there are fewer customers in the market than there are suppliers, if the buyer has more similar products in the market and is less reliant on the single source, and if the switching cost is minimal, this can assist you in determining how the company's profitability will be affected over time. Powerful customers are able to exert pressure to drive down prices or increase the required quality for the same price and therefore reduce profits in an industry. Great example in the UK currently is dominant grocery supermarkets, which are able to exert great power over supply firm. Customers tend to enjoy strong bargaining powers when there are only few of them. Customer purchase a significant proportion of output of an industry, or when they possess a credible backward integration threat, that is, they threaten to buy the producing firm or the rivals. They can choose from a wide range of supply firms. They find it easy and inexpensive to switch to alternative suppliers. Talking about the third one, bargaining power of buyers. Well, okay, bargaining power of buyers. Here, powerful customers are able to exert pressure to drive down prices or increase the required quality for the same price and therefore reduce profit. And customers tend to enjoy strong bargaining power when they are few in number. Customers purchase significant portion of output of an industry, threaten to buy product firm or its rival. They can choose from wide variety of supply firms, or they find it easy and inexpensive to switch to alternative suppliers. Well, regarding threat of substitute product. Well, rising of a substitute product that satisfies similar consumer needs, potential factors are buyer propensity to substitute, relative price performance of substitute, buyer switching cost, perceived level of product differentiation, number of substitute products available in the market, ease of substitution, standard product, quality depreciation, availability of close substitute. Well, rising of substitute products that satisfy similar customer needs. Very good example is Elon Musk. So talking about the threat of substitute product. Substitutes are products that can be substituted for original. Pizza from Domino's and Pizza Hut, for example, are interchangeable. If one's price rises, demand for the other will grow as well, because it's so easy to switch to a substitute in the event of a change, such as a price increase or a reduction in quality, and threat remains. The need to perform better and more cost effective is vital. The higher the company rises, the better it executes versus its competitors. Well, talking about the fifth force model of Porter, rivalry among existing competitors. Number of competitors, diversity of competitors, quality difference, brand identity, loyalty, switching costs, barriers to exit. These are some of the factors of which comes under rivalry among existing competitors. All right, so I hope it's clear. So let me, I think, yes, that's it. All right, so I hope I'm clear with the concepts that we discussed today in this video. Especially we particularly concentrated on the Porter's dominant economic feature and competitive environment analysis, and also Porter's 5 force model, and discussed about key success factors, concepts, and implementation. Okay, talking about implementation, I think we did discuss that in the previous video, so you can check that. So otherwise, in this module, this is the 6th module, and I covered all the concepts of external analysis or business analysis, external analysis of module 2, covering 3 videos, first, second, third. This is the 3rd video in 2nd module. And we discussed enough about strategically relevant component of company external environment, industry analysis, factors driving industry change and its impact, Porter's dominant economic feature, competitive environment analysis, Porter's 5 force model, including key success factors, concepts and implementation. So I hope I'm clear with the second module, and that is external analysis. And in coming up videos, I'll be covering the rest of the modules, module 3, 4, 5 and 6. So till then, take care.